What's going on, Omnibuddies? Mitch here, and today we have another Omnibuddy overview. What are we looking at today? We are looking at Volume 2 Deluxe Library Edition of Stranger Things. Alright, so first off, if you haven't watched my first video on Deluxe Library Edition Volume 1 of Stranger Things, head back, pause this video, go over there, watch that first, and then come back here. But really, they're not too interconnected. If you've seen the entire, if you've seen the whole show, all 4 seasons so far as of the making of this video, the final season, one and a half, whatever it is, I don't know. It's really weird how they're doing it. It's like 2 seasons, but it's all considered season 5 or something like that. So that's not out yet. But if you're caught up on the show, you can really jump into this one. So it's not that big of a deal if you watch it now and then go back and watch the other one or whatever. Because we'll find out why. But yeah, this is by Jody Houser and a ton of other creators. You can see all the names down here. And this is, again, by Dark Horse Publishing. So let's take a look at Stranger Things Deluxe Library Edition Volume 2 right now. All right, so here is Deluxe Library Edition Volume 2 of Stranger Things. This is by Jody Houser and a ton of other creators, artists, peeps. Yeah, and then here is the spine. It is by Dark Horse. And here is the back of the book. And this does retail for $39.99. So you can get it for, I think, about just under 30 bucks at Organic Price Books if you are interested in picking this up. Pretty cheap book overall for how much fun I had reading this thing. It's pretty thin, so I think I actually read it over 2 evenings. I think Volume 1 I read in 1 evening, I think it was, or maybe it was the other way around. Pretty quick, but really good read. Can't wait to reread it eventually, maybe before the next season of the show comes out. It's got that cool like spot gloss going on with it. Very cool. A little bit down there on the text. So all the text is like spot gloss, and then everything else is matte. Pretty awesome. Anyways, we got the just classic Dark Horse black end paper, Volume 2 title page, and then we go right into it. So we have 6, and Into the Fire is what this collects. So 2 kind of short stories, mini-series, I guess you could call them. Let me get this glare off of the page a little bit. There we go. So that, yeah, so it collects the 2 mini-series, and they all basically go together. It's not a bunch of mini-series kind of just highlighting different times and things happening around with the characters. Like in Volume 1, this is all basically highlighting 6 and a few others from the series. Kind of starts early in time with a little girl, you know, like kind of learning her powers and learning she has powers, and kind of jumping back and forth while she's in the lab, and going back and forth with her family and her abusive father, which as a dad really sucks to read and watch. I'm like, come on, dude, get it together. Like, seriously, love your daughter, love your kids. What's the matter with you? Anyways, going back and forth, having her struggles, being there, meeting the other kids, and kind of learning their powers and how the whole place operates, and meeting, you know, boys and all that. So you have 6 and then 3, and I think I forgot the numbers of the other kids in here. But yeah. Let's see. I don't want to show too much because, I mean, it's not a super long book, so if you see too much, it's going to really spoil it, and I don't want to give it away too much. But really interesting stuff with the Upside Down and her experiences with that, and Is it real? Is it not? Obviously, if you've seen the show, you know that the Upside Down is real, but she's trying to figure out what in the world is going on. Carrie. She's reading Carrie, and that's these kids with the powers. I'm surprised they let those kind of books be in that library with crazy overpowered kids and learning to use their powers. Seems like a slight oversight, letting them have books like that, giving them some ideas when they're wanting to control them so much. Anyways, just kind of how they push these kids to their limits, and what it does to them emotionally and physically and mentally, and then brings in the what's it called? The sensory deprivation tank and that chamber. You see that a lot in the show with 11, and using sensory deprivation all throughout the show, you know, turning off the lights, covering up your ears, that kind of a thing, so you can better control and focus your powers. Really cool stuff. And then what happens when kids are pushed way past their limits, and they're trying to, you know, appease their parental figures, which are doctors and scientists, which shouldn't, yeah. Anyways, really cool art style, by the way. I love these painted art style covers. And then just following the kids through, they're, you know, trying to escape. Do they get out? Don't they? I guess that would be a spoiler that they do get out, but you know that a bunch of them get out if you've seen the show and what happens with that. And then just trying to hunt down other kids way later, and trying to find family and friends, and how dangerous is all this, and trying to control kids who are have way too much power and can't control it, and what do you do with that? A lot of ethical discussions kind of a thing in here, and pretty interesting stuff that happens. And I thought it was really cool seeing the group of kids from the show that 11 meets up with and kind of hangs out with, and then, you know, find out a little bit about 11 and rumors that they've heard and their experiences with her, and pretty cool stuff. And then dealing with family and sisters, and oh yeah, really, really interesting story. Really enjoyed it. Trying to figure out what's going on with this girl who's wearing a mask and what this is. So some fun mystery too, that's slightly terrifying too, and a little bit D&D-esque actually, more fantasy than D&D. So this one, these kids end up kind of a little bit more in the fantasy world, which I guess D&D is kind of a fantasy world, than it is in D&D, more of a, yeah. Anyways, really cool stuff. You've got a couple, for extras at the end, you have a couple pages of cover gallery, and that's really about it. So that was a little bit disappointing. No expanded ideas from the author, or scripting, or paneling, and art progression. So that was a little bit disappointing, but the story itself was really fun and really good and really interesting. I would highly recommend this book. I had so much fun reading it, and it was so fun dropping back into the Stranger Things universe. So that is a quick overview. All right, so that was a brief overview look at the Library Edition Volume 2 of Stranger Things. Hope you liked it. Like I said throughout it, I actually really... so for Volume 1, I really enjoyed that one. It was cool to see all these kind of moments that happened between seasons and things like that, and kind of fleshing out a lot of those details that we really wish we had gotten to see beforehand or during the seasons. But this one goes not quite in a completely different direction, but it basically just leaves all those characters except for, you know, the main big bad villain guy, and 11 shows up here and there a little bit, brief mentions of her, but it basically just follows all those other kids, well, not even all of them, just a select few of them through their journey at the hospital, the lab, I guess you could call it, and follows their journey. And I thought that was really cool, really interesting way to kind of expand the universe, expand the lore. I think that would be a great way to continue the show. I love these characters. I love Will and Billy, and I love all those characters, and Eleven. They're so great, but what's even cooler than those characters is the universe that they're building around Stranger Things. And I think it would be really cool to actually just jump into full other characters, maybe even a different country. I don't know, different era. Maybe it'd be kind of cool to see like way back. I don't know, maybe do some time jumping. It'd be cool. Anyways, I really enjoyed volume 2. It was so cool to just expand that universe, expand that lore, see what all these other characters really can do. And that is a really loud airplane outside. Don't know if you can hear it or not, but it is really loud. Anyways, I just think it's a really cool way of going about and expanding that and seeing some of these other characters and their kind of their power sets and their abilities and things like that. It's really cool. I really enjoyed it. And what I actually really enjoyed about it too is volume 1 was interesting in that it was like very sectioned. Each one was a short story miniseries that didn't necessarily overlap or have much interchange or carryover from. You could just kind of read them whenever. Versus this one was just a full-on mini-series. It could have, I'd consider it like a full-on season of a show. So it was pretty cool. Really enjoyed it. I'd highly recommend these books. They're super cheap. Again, you can get them on Organic Price Books, our channel sponsor. You can use code Omnibuddy for $2 off every order of 1 to 2 books or more books if you wanted. But if you're gonna order 3 or more books, try and group those together and use code Omnibuddy, ship it together, all one word, Omnibuddy, ship it together. Get 5% off your entire order of 3 or more books, and they'll all ship together, so be careful if you're trying to pre-order or something like that. But if they're books that are in stock, like get Deluxe Edition Volume 1 and 2, and maybe like Deadly Class Volume 3, or Lobster Johnson from Magnolaverse just came out. Super cool books. We'll see a Fantastic Four by Hickman Volume 1 reprint comes back in stock because that sold out super quick. So keep an eye out for that. Hopefully it comes back in stock. We'll see. But you know, throw a third book on there that's in stock and get 5% off your entire order. Free shipping if you're over 30 bucks. It's crazy. It's good. You're supporting the channel. You're supporting a small business like Organic Price Books and OPB. JP is great with communication, shipping, answering any kind of questions. Yeah, so you can't go wrong with them. But that's it. Remember to like, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, do all those things. But again, the most important thing, comment. And what I want you to comment on, well, you can comment on really anything. But what I'd love to hear your thoughts on is Stranger Things. If you've read these books, if you're interested, why are you interested? Did you like the show? Did you not like the show? I hope you loved the show because it is awesome. It is just amazing, like sci-fi, suspense, horror, 80s thriller genre. It's so awesome. Absolutely loved it. Anyways, that's it. Let me know what you think about the show, what you're interested in picking up in the comments below. That's it. Take care. Stay safe.